Hello, my name is Artem, and today I would like to show to you Time Capsules, one of our newest games. Huge, beautiful box. The story here is that in a not so distant future, humanity discovered the remains of ancient civilization on another planet. The civilization itself is long gone, but what they've left behind are these things. These are time capsules, and we find out that capsules can travel back in time to the times where that civilization was at its peak. It is impossible to travel in time inside those capsules for sentient beings, for humans or any living things. However, it is possible to send things inside those capsules and to get things back from the time that the civilization was very highly developed. So, a number of transnational corporations, so you can say that this is actually a interstellar corporations at this point, they decide to make profit of it and start using those capsules, getting artifacts from that time. And in the process, they discover that it is in fact possible to break the fabric of space and time and perhaps doom the whole civilization if you're not careful. So in this game, your goal will be to get more victory points than your opponents. The time is limited to 10 turns. This is a scoring track which we'll be using to keep track of how many points each player has. And I'll mention straight away that as you can see on this track, you have some squares that are different. So for example, this one gives you a chrono crystal, and this is a bad one. This gives you a temporal break. And I'll talk about both of these things a little bit later. So to get points, what exactly are we going to do? Let me show you just briefly how the game works. Let's imagine that we have some kind of a mid-game situation. So we're not at the very start of the game, but we already played some time. I have these capsules, and this is a fresh take on a pool building / engine building game. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using all of these different elements to my advantage to try and build the most efficient engine and get myself some victory points. So inside those capsules are some things that I have managed to accumulate over the course of the game. I will put all 4 inside a bag. Then I'll shuffle them a little bit. And then I get 2 random capsules out of the bag. And the second one. And these are left inside the bag. We'll use them later. So once I got them, I will open them and see what I got. All right. So straight away, as you can see, there are lots of different components, lots of different things. And I'll explain them as I go. So here I have some artifacts that I have purchased earlier. Here are my computers, batteries that provide energy. And these 2 things are, as I mentioned, these are bad things. They're temporal breaks. When we send capsules back to that time, we actually break the fabric of space-time a little bit. So these things take up space in your capsules, and there is a limit on how many things you can have in each one. So those are bad for you. You want to get rid of them. Plus, the most important thing about those is if you have too many, you can actually lose completely. So you have to be careful about that. Now, what I can do with all those things is basically I can use them to get different kinds of resources and apply different kinds of effects to get even more things, and then load them back into the capsules, then get them back, use them again. Engine building, basically. So let's just set an example here. Probably these are one of the most valuable things. These are artifacts from that civilization. They have very cool abilities. They come in 2 types. So these you can purchase for energy, which is provided by batteries, as I mentioned. And these can be purchased by qubits, which are provided by computers, those things. So let's say I want to buy an artifact. This costs 6, and this costs 7. So I would take one of my computers. These tokens represent the kinds of dice that I have. One 6-sided die and one 12-sided die. So let me roll them. Okay, I have 14 qubits. So That's a lot, and I really want some expensive artifact, for example, so I will go for this one. When I buy it, I cannot use it straight away. I place it here, it will go into my capsule, and then I will be able to use it later. So let's see what else I can do on my turn. I can actually buy another artifact for energy, because I do have a lot of batteries here, but let me show you something different. Let me show you how the abilities of the artifacts actually work. And they do have combos. As you probably noticed, some of the artifacts, I mean all of the artifacts, have a certain color associated with them. So let's see an example. I have here an incubator that allows me to pay 2 energy, which I do have, and I can take a bio object. This is another type of thing that we can get, and I'll talk about this one a little bit later. So I have purchased a bio object, but as you can see, I have a second artifact here, which says every time you resolve a yellow artifact ability, you can remove a break, which is actually really cool. This is sort of like a passive ability. So just because I use this one, this automatically triggers, and I can remove one of my temporal breaks, which is great because I don't want them. So what is this curious bio object that I have just purchased? Well, this is another thing that you can send basically back and forth in time. You have 2 ways of using it. If you use it straight away, it has a weaker effect, but if you put it inside the capsule and it comes back to you, then you can use it for a stronger effect, basically. Okay, so let's say my turn is over. That's all I wanted to do. What I'll do now is I will redistribute everything that I have here inside of those 2 capsules. And as you probably already guessed, if I do have a combination of artifacts that I really like, I will definitely put them inside one capsule to make sure that every time I make a turn, I can actually use them. Also, I want something that powers those artifacts, so I should have enough energy and enough batteries and enough computers. So let's say this one's good. I like this one. As my new artifact goes here, temporal break. Unfortunately, I did not get rid of all of them, just one, and everything else goes here. Now, I set these 2 capsules aside for now because on my next turn, I will have to use those 2. Once I've used those 2 on my next turn, I will take all 4 of them and I'll put them back into the bag and it starts over. So every player performs their turns in a similar fashion until we basically run out of time and we learn who's the winner of the game. Another important component in the game, these here, I have my fluctuation cards. These allow me to perform some more cool things, actions, abilities, whatever you want to call them. But they are powered by a different kind of resource, a chrono crystal. Also, you can get chrono crystals from different sources. And one of the sources I mentioned at the beginning, where I showed you the scoring tracker and I mentioned that these yellow squares, they actually give you chrono crystals once you pass through them or stop on them. So, for example, if I'm the blue player and I got 2 victory points right now, I would go 1, 2, and because I stepped on 25 with a chrono crystal symbol, I will get a chrono crystal. I'll not get into detail about all the abilities that fluctuation cards have. They're just cool. So this is Time Capsules, a brief explanation of how the game works. The game lasts around 60 to 90 minutes. It is a 12+ game. It can be played from 1 to 4 players. So it does have a solo mode already in the rules. You don't have to go to some different website to search for it. It already comes with a solo mode. Of course, the artwork is very beautiful. There are lots and lots of components, and the capsules themselves are really cool as well. So they're actually molded. I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but they're actually quite beautiful. The box is big and the MSRP is 75 euros. If you would like to receive a sample to test it, try it out yourself, or place an order, please contact us and we'll set you up.